When a woman begins to love herself first, she steps onto a path of immense responsibility. This is no mere indulgence or shallow self-care ritual. It is the profound act of becoming deeply aware of who she is and what she is capable of. She learns to take accountability for her life not because someone told her to, but because she understands the immense potential that lies within her. Loving yourself first doesn't mean being selfish or unkind. It means recognizing that you are the steward of your own existence. You cannot pour from an empty cup. To be of value to others, to be a force of strength and inspiration, you must first fill yourself with purpose and resolve. Setting boundaries is the cornerstone of this love. Without boundaries, you become a vessel for others' desires and demands, forgetting your own needs in the process. Boundaries are not acts of aggression, they are declarations of self-respect. They allow you to say, this is what I need to thrive and I deserve nothing less. To love oneself first, a woman must take responsibility for her life in its entirety, embracing her strengths, acknowledging her weaknesses, and addressing the areas where she can grow. This is not a simple task. It requires honesty and courage, as it means confronting parts of herself she might prefer to ignore. Responsibility is the foundation of self-love because it transforms the way she views her own existence. Instead of seeing life as something that happens to her, she begins to understand that she plays an active role in shaping her reality. This shift from passivity to agency is where self-respect is born. A woman who loves herself does not outsource her happiness or blame others for her struggles. She understands that life is inherently challenging, and rather than resisting that fact, she takes it as an opportunity to rise. This mindset demands that she look inward, not to wallow in self-criticism, but to evaluate her own behaviors and choices. It is through this introspection that she starts to see the power she holds to influence her circumstances, even when the external world seems beyond her control. This kind of responsibility is not a burden, it is a gift that liberates her from the trap of victimhood. Self-awareness is a crucial component of this journey. A woman must be willing to ask herself hard questions. What do I truly value? What am I afraid of? Where am I falling short? These questions may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary for growth. In answering them, she begins to see herself more clearly, not just as she is, but as she could be. This vision of her potential becomes a guiding light, a source of motivation to pursue a better version of herself. Responsibility means taking ownership of that vision and working toward it, even when the path is uncertain. It's important to recognize that responsibility is not synonymous with perfectionism. A woman who loves herself accepts that she will make mistakes and encounter setbacks. These moments are not failures, but opportunities to learn and adapt. By taking responsibility for how she responds to these challenges, she transforms them into stepping stones toward personal growth. This approach requires humility and resilience, as it asks her to acknowledge her faults without letting them define her. Loving oneself is not about being flawless, it's about striving to be accountable to oneself in every situation. Responsibility also extends to how she treats her body, mind, and soul. A woman who loves herself takes care of her physical health, not out of vanity, but because she respects the vessel that carries her through life. She cultivates her mind through learning and reflection, understanding that knowledge and wisdom are tools that empower her to navigate the complexities of the world. She nourishes her soul by engaging in activities that bring her joy and peace, recognizing that these moments of fulfillment are not luxuries but necessities. To love oneself is to take responsibility for ensuring that these aspects of life are given the attention they deserve. A key aspect of taking responsibility is letting go of excuses. Excuses may provide temporary relief from discomfort, but they ultimately keep her stagnant. A woman who loves herself learns to distinguish between reasons and excuses. She acknowledges the genuine obstacles she faces, but refuses to let them become an excuse for inaction. This distinction is crucial because it shifts her focus from what she cannot control to what she can. Even in the face of adversity, she looks for ways to move forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. When a woman takes responsibility for her life, she becomes a source of strength, not just for herself, but for others. She sets an example of what it means to live with intention and integrity. This is not about seeking approval or admiration. It is about embodying the values she holds dear. Her actions reflect her commitment to herself, and this inspires those around her to reflect on their own lives. Responsibility in this sense is contagious. It creates a ripple effect that extends beyond her immediate circle. Taking responsibility is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that her life matters and that she is willing to do the work necessary to make it meaningful. This is the essence of self-love, not a fleeting emotion, but a disciplined practice of honoring her own existence. It is through this practice that she builds a foundation of strength, resilience, and purpose, enabling her to face life's challenges with grace and determination. Responsibility is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a profound transformation that allows her to truly love herself first. The power of setting boundaries cannot be overstated when it comes to self-love. A woman who loves herself first understands that her time, energy, and emotional well-being are finite resources, and she has the right to protect them. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate her from the world. Instead, they are guidelines that define how she wants to be treated and what she is willing to accept from others. They serve as a framework for healthy relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Establishing boundaries begins with self-awareness. A woman must take the time to reflect on her values, needs, and limits. This requires honesty and introspection as she identifies what drains her energy, what brings her peace, and what aligns with her goals. Once she is clear about these aspects of herself, she can articulate her boundaries with confidence and clarity. This is an act of self-respect as it acknowledges her inherent worth and communicates to others that she values herself enough to protect her well-being. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially for a woman who has been conditioned to prioritize the needs of others over her own. Society often encourages women to be selfless, to give endlessly, and to accommodate others even at the expense of their own happiness. However, a woman who loves herself recognizes that constantly sacrificing her own needs is unsustainable and ultimately harmful. She understands that saying no to others is sometimes necessary to say yes to herself. This shift in perspective is empowering as it allows her to take control of her life and prioritize what truly matters. Communicating boundaries is a crucial step in this process. A woman who loves herself does not expect others to read her mind or intuitively know her limits. She expresses her needs clearly and assertively, without guilt or apology. This communication is not confrontational. It is rooted in respect both for herself and for the other person. By being direct, she eliminates confusion and creates an opportunity for healthier interactions. She also sets the tone for how she expects to be treated, reinforcing her boundaries through consistent actions. One of the challenges of maintaining boundaries is dealing with pushback from others. Some people may resist or test her limits, especially if they are accustomed to her saying yes to everything. This resistance can be uncomfortable, but it is not a reason to abandon her boundaries. A woman who loves herself understands that maintaining her boundaries is a sign of strength, not selfishness. She remains firm, even in the face of criticism or manipulation, because she knows that her well-being is non-negotiable. This resilience is an essential aspect of self-love as it demonstrates her commitment to honoring her own needs. Boundaries also play a vital role in fostering healthier relationships. By setting clear expectations, a woman creates a foundation of trust and respect. Those who truly care about her will appreciate her honesty and reciprocate her respect. On the other hand, those who consistently disregard her boundaries reveal their unwillingness to value her as an individual. In this way, boundaries act as a filter, allowing her to cultivate meaningful connections while distancing herself from toxic influences. This selective approach to relationships enhances her overall quality of life and reinforces her sense of self-worth. Another important aspect of boundaries is that they evolve over time. As a woman grows and her circumstances change, her needs and limits may shift. A woman who loves herself remains attuned to these changes and adjusts her boundaries accordingly. This adaptability ensures that her boundaries remain relevant and effective, supporting her ongoing journey of self-discovery and personal growth. It also demonstrates her ability to honor herself in a dynamic and ever-changing world. Setting boundaries is an act of empowerment. It requires courage to assert one's needs and face the potential discomfort of confrontation. However, the rewards far outweigh the challenges. A woman who loves herself first understands that boundaries are not a rejection of others, they are an affirmation of her own worth. By protecting her time, energy, and emotional well-being, she creates a life that is aligned with her values and aspirations. Boundaries are not about control, they are about freedom, the freedom to live authentically, love deeply, and thrive unapologetically. Through the power of boundaries, she claims her rightful place in the world as a woman who values and loves herself. The pursuit of meaning over happiness is a cornerstone of self-love and personal fulfillment. A woman who loves herself understands that happiness, as fleeting as it is, cannot be the sole aim of her life. Happiness is a byproduct of living a meaningful life, not the objective in itself. This realization marks a profound shift in her approach to life as she moves away from seeking temporary pleasures or avoiding discomfort and instead focuses on finding purpose and significance in her actions and experiences. Meaning is rooted in engagement with life's challenges. A woman who loves herself does not shy away from difficulties. Instead, she embraces them as opportunities for growth. Challenges demand effort, resilience, and perseverance, qualities that, when cultivated, lead to a deeper sense of accomplishment and self-worth. She understands that the path to meaning is rarely easy, but recognizes that the rewards are far greater than the momentary satisfaction of avoiding hardship. Each obstacle she overcomes adds to her confidence and shapes her character, forging a stronger and more capable version of herself. In the pursuit of meaning, a woman identifies what truly matters to her. This process requires introspection and self-awareness. As she reflects on her values, passions, and long-term aspirations, she asks herself profound questions. What brings me a sense of fulfillment? What legacy do I want to leave behind? What contributions can I make to the world? The answers to these questions become her guiding principles, helping her prioritize her time, energy, and resources toward endeavors that align with her sense of purpose. This alignment creates a sense of coherence in her life, giving her actions significance and direction. Importantly, the pursuit of meaning often requires sacrifice. A woman who loves herself is willing to forgo immediate gratification to achieve her larger goals. She understands that meaningful pursuits often demand effort, patience, and the willingness to endure temporary discomfort. Whether it is investing time in education, nurturing relationships, or dedicating herself to a cause she believes in, she approaches these commitments with intention and discipline. This willingness to sacrifice demonstrates her deep respect for her own aspirations and underscores her belief in the value of her efforts. While meaning often involves striving for personal growth, it is also deeply connected to how a woman engages with the world around her. A meaningful life is rarely lived in isolation. It involves contributing to something greater than oneself. Whether it is through acts of kindness, creating art, building a career that aligns with her values, or supporting her community, a woman who loves herself finds meaning in her connections with others. These contributions not only benefit those around her, but also reinforce her own sense of purpose and place in the world. In giving, she receives a deeper understanding of her own capacity for impact and love. The pursuit of meaning also demands a willingness to confront uncertainty and take risks. A woman who loves herself is not afraid to step outside her comfort zone in the quest for fulfillment. She understands that staying in familiar patterns may provide a sense of security, but it often leads to stagnation. To grow and discover meaning, she must be willing to venture into the unknown, face her fears, and challenge herself. This courage to embrace uncertainty is a testament to her self-respect and her belief in her ability to navigate life's complexities. Another essential aspect of finding meaning is embracing the journey rather than fixating on the destination. A woman who loves herself recognizes that life is an ongoing process of discovery, learning, and evolution. She does not wait for some future moment of accomplishment to feel fulfilled. Instead, she finds meaning in the small, everyday actions that contribute to her larger goals. Whether it is the discipline of showing up consistently, the joy of learning something new, or the satisfaction of making progress, she learns to appreciate the process and the person she becomes along the way. Finally, the pursuit of meaning provides a sense of resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges. A woman who loves herself understands that setbacks and disappointments are part of the journey. Because her life is anchored in purpose rather than fleeting happiness, she is better equipped to weather these storms. Meaning gives her a reason to persevere when times are tough and a source of strength to draw upon when she feels uncertain. It reminds her that her efforts are worthwhile, even when the results are not immediately visible. By choosing meaning over happiness, a woman who loves herself builds a life of depth, purpose, and fulfillment. She does not chase the fleeting highs of temporary pleasure, but instead dedicates herself to the steady, enduring work of creating a life that aligns with her values and aspirations. In doing so, she finds not only meaning but also a profound and lasting sense of joy, one that arises from knowing she is living a life of purpose and intention. This commitment to meaning is the ultimate expression of self-love, as it reflects her belief in the value and significance of her existence. The value of personal standards is a fundamental aspect of self-love, as it reflects a woman's respect for herself and her aspirations. Personal standards are the benchmarks she sets for how she lives her life, approaches her goals, and interacts with others. They represent her commitment to excellence, not as a means of proving her worth to others, but as a reflection of the respect she has for herself and her potential. A woman who loves herself holds herself to high personal standards because she understands that the way she conducts her life is a direct expression of her self-worth. Setting personal standards begins with a deep understanding of what truly matters to her. A woman must take the time to evaluate her values, priorities, and long-term aspirations. This self-awareness enables her to define what she expects from herself in various areas of her life, whether it is her career, relationships, health, or personal growth. These standards act as a compass, guiding her decisions and actions in alignment with her vision for her life. They help her maintain focus and clarity even in the face of distractions or setbacks, ensuring that she remains true to herself and her goals. High personal standards are not about perfectionism or unrealistic expectations. A woman who loves herself recognizes that striving for perfection is neither sustainable nor necessary. But instead, her standards are about doing her best within the context of her current circumstances and continuously seeking growth. This approach requires a balance between ambition and self-compassion. She pushes herself to excel, but she also acknowledges her limitations and forgives herself when she falls short. This combination of drive and grace allows her to pursue her goals with determination while maintaining her mental and emotional well-being. One of the most empowering aspects of personal standards is the sense of agency they provide. A woman who sets and upholds her own standards takes control of her life and refuses to be defined by the expectations of others. She understands that her worth is not contingent upon external validation or societal norms. Instead, she measures her success by her own criteria, which are rooted in her values and aspirations. But this independence frees her from the pressure to conform and allows her to live authentically on her own terms. Personal standards also serve as a source of motivation and discipline. A woman who loves herself uses her standards as a reminder of her potential and the life she wants to create. These standards push her to put in the effort required to achieve her goals, even when the process is challenging or uncomfortable. For instance, if she values health and vitality, she commits to regular exercise and a balanced diet, even on days when it feels inconvenient. If she prioritizes personal growth, she dedicates time to learning and self-reflection, even when she is busy. By adhering to her standards, she builds habits that support her long-term success and fulfillment. In relationships, personal standards play a critical role in ensuring mutual respect and healthy dynamics. A woman who loves herself sets clear expectations for how she wishes to be treated, and she holds others accountable to those expectations. She does not settle for less than she deserves, whether it is in friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional interactions. This is not about arrogance or entitlement. It is about recognizing her own value and refusing to accept anything that compromises her well-being. Her standards become a safeguard against toxic relationships, allowing her to surround herself with people who uplift and support her. Another important aspect of personal standards is their adaptability. A woman who loves herself understands that growth and change are inevitable, and her standards must evolve accordingly. As she gains new experiences and insights, she revisits and refines her benchmarks to reflect her current priorities and aspirations. This flexibility ensures that her standards remain relevant and challenging, helping her avoid stagnation and continue striving for improvement. Upholding personal standards requires resilience and courage, as it often involves making difficult choices and standing firm in the face of external pressure. A woman who loves herself does not compromise her standards to appease others or avoid conflict. She recognizes that maintaining her integrity is more important than seeking approval. This steadfast commitment to her values builds her confidence and self-esteem, reinforcing her belief in her own worth. Personal standards are a reflection of a woman's respect for herself and her potential. By setting and upholding high standards, she demonstrates her belief in her ability to achieve greatness and live a life of purpose. These standards are not about comparison or competition, they are about honoring her unique journey and striving to be the best version of herself. Through her dedication to her personal standards, she creates a life that is rich in meaning, fulfillment, and authenticity, embodying the essence of self-love. The importance of self-care lies at the heart of a woman's ability to love herself fully. Self-care is not a luxury or an indulgence, it is a necessity. It is the deliberate act of nurturing her physical, emotional, and mental well-being so she can thrive in every aspect of her life. A woman who loves herself first recognizes that she cannot pour from an empty cup, and she prioritizes her own health and happiness to be the best version of herself. This commitment to self-care is an expression of respect for her own existence and acknowledgement that she is deserving of the time and effort it takes to maintain her well-being. Self-care begins with the basics, attending to her physical health. A woman who loves herself takes the time to nourish her body with wholesome food, regular exercise, and adequate rest. She understands that her body is the vessel through which she experiences life, and she treats it with care and respect. This does not mean adhering to societal standards of beauty or perfection. Rather, it is about fostering a relationship with her body that is rooted in appreciation and gratitude. By prioritizing her physical health, she equips herself with the energy and vitality needed to pursue her goals and enjoy life to the fullest. Emotional self-care is equally critical. A woman who loves herself makes space to process her feelings, to reflect on her experiences, and to seek support when she needs it. She does not suppress her emotions or ignore her needs. Instead, she approaches them with compassion and understanding. This requires creating a safe space for herself, free from judgment, where she can explore her inner world honestly. Whether it is through journaling, therapy, or meaningful conversations with trusted friends, she invests in her emotional well-being because she knows it is integral to her overall health. Mental self-care involves protecting her mind from unnecessary stress and negativity. A woman who loves herself is mindful of the information she consumes and the thoughts she entertains. She sets boundaries around her mental space, avoiding toxic influences that drain her energy or undermine her confidence. This could mean limiting exposure to social media, curating her environment to support positivity, or engaging in practices like meditation that help her center herself. By prioritizing her mental health, she fosters clarity, focus, and resilience, enabling her to navigate life's challenges with grace. An essential component of self-care is recognizing the need for balance. A woman who loves herself understands that life's demands can be overwhelming, and she takes proactive steps to maintain equilibrium. She does not overextend herself or sacrifice her well-being for the sake of productivity or pleasing others. Instead, she learns to say no when necessary and prioritizes activities that bring her joy and relaxation. This balance is not about avoiding responsibility, but about ensuring that her efforts are sustainable and aligned with her values. Self-care also includes indulging in moments of joy and pleasure without guilt. A woman who loves herself gives herself permission to do things purely for her own enjoyment, whether it is reading a book, taking a walk in nature, or savoring a delicious meal. These moments of delight are not frivolous, they are vital for her happiness and emotional replenishment. By embracing these small acts of self-care, she reaffirms her worth and acknowledges her right to experience life's beauty. A key aspect of self-care is its adaptability. A woman who loves herself recognizes that her needs may change over time, and she remains attuned to those shifts. She regularly checks in with herself, asking what she needs in the present moment, and adjusts her self-care practices accordingly. This flexibility ensures that her self-care remains effective and relevant, supporting her through different phases of her life. Practicing self-care requires boundaries and discipline. A woman who loves herself prioritizes her well-being even when it feels inconvenient or when others demand her attention. She understands that taking care of herself is not selfish, it is essential. By setting boundaries around her time and energy, she creates the space necessary to focus on her needs. This commitment to self-care strengthens her ability to show up for others and for the responsibilities in her life without depleting herself in the process. Self-care is an act of empowerment. It is a declaration that she values herself enough to invest in her own happiness and health. It is not a one-time act, but an ongoing practice, a commitment she makes to herself every day. By embracing self-care, she cultivates a life that is rich in fulfillment, resilience, and joy. A woman who loves herself first knows that her well-being is the foundation for everything she hopes to achieve and create, and she honors that truth through her unwavering dedication to self-care. The courage to embrace solitude is a profound act of self-love. A woman who loves herself first understands the importance of being comfortable in her own company. Solitude is not loneliness, rather, it is a deliberate choice to step away from the noise of the world and connect with her inner self. It is in these moments of quiet that she gains clarity, nurtures her creativity, and strengthens her relationship with herself. Embracing solitude is a powerful way to cultivate self-awareness and inner peace, as it allows her to focus on her needs and aspirations without external distractions. Spending time alone gives her the opportunity to reflect on her life, her values, and her emotions. In solitude, she can examine her experiences with honesty and objectivity, gaining insights that help her grow and make better decisions. This process of introspection is essential for personal development, as it enables her to understand herself on a deeper level. She can identify patterns in her behavior, recognize what brings her joy, and confront what causes her pain. Through this self-exploration, she learns to navigate her life with greater intention and authenticity. Solitude also nurtures her creativity and problem-solving abilities. When she steps away from the constant input of others' opinions and ideas, she can access her own thoughts and imagination more freely. Many great ideas and breakthroughs are born in moments of solitude, when the mind has the space to wander and explore without constraints. A woman who loves herself recognizes the value of this creative space, whether she uses it to pursue her passions, brainstorm solutions to challenges, or simply daydream. In doing so, she honors her unique perspective and talents. Embracing solitude is also an act of self-reliance. A woman who loves herself does not depend solely on external validation or companionship to feel fulfilled. She knows that her worth is inherent and that she is complete as she is. This sense of self-sufficiency allows her to build relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness. She chooses to engage with others because she values their presence, not because she fears being alone. This independence enhances the quality of her connections, as they are based on mutual respect and genuine appreciation rather than dependency. The courage to embrace solitude also involves confronting discomfort. For many, being alone can bring up feelings of fear, sadness, or restlessness. A woman who loves herself does not shy away from these emotions. Instead, she faces them with compassion and curiosity. She understands that discomfort is often a sign of growth, and that sitting with her feelings can lead to profound insights and healing. By leaning into solitude, she builds emotional resilience and learns to trust herself, knowing that she has the inner strength to face whatever arises. Solitude is also a time for self-care and restoration. In the quiet, she can focus on nurturing her well-being without the demands or expectations of others. Whether it is meditating, reading, journaling, or simply sitting in silence, she uses this time to recharge and reconnect with herself. This act of self-care is not selfish, it is essential. By taking care of herself, she replenishes her energy and becomes better equipped to handle the responsibilities and relationships in her life. Another powerful aspect of solitude is its role in helping her set boundaries and priorities. When she spends time alone, she can step back from the opinions and pressures of others and consider what truly matters to her. This clarity enables her to make decisions that align with her values and goals rather than being swayed by external influences. Solitude gives her the space to think deeply and act intentionally, empowering her to create a life that reflects her authentic self. Embracing solitude does not mean isolating herself from others. A woman who loves herself values her relationships and enjoys meaningful connections. However, she also recognizes that her time alone is just as important. By balancing her need for solitude with her social interactions, she creates harmony in her life. She understands that solitude enriches her relationships by giving her the opportunity to recharge and bring her best self to her interactions with others. The courage to embrace solitude is a testament to her self-respect and self-confidence. It shows that she values her own company and trusts her ability to find strength and joy within herself. Solitude is not a retreat from life, it is a way to engage with it more fully. By embracing solitude, a woman who loves herself deepens her understanding of who she is, nurtures her inner world, and builds a foundation of self-love that supports her in every aspect of her life. In embracing the journey of self-love, a woman reclaims her power, her worth, and her purpose. To love oneself first is not an act of selfishness, it is the foundation upon which a fulfilling and meaningful life is built. Through the pursuit of authenticity, the courage to establish boundaries, the prioritization of meaning over fleeting happiness, the commitment to personal standards, the practice of self-care, and the bravery to embrace solitude, she becomes a beacon of strength, resilience, and grace. This journey is not without its challenges, but it is through these trials that she uncovers her true potential and shapes her identity. By loving herself first, she sets the tone for how she engages with the world boldly, intentionally, and with unshakable dignity. She becomes an example of what is possible when a woman chooses to honor herself, inspiring others to do the same. In choosing self-love, she not only transforms her own life, but also leaves a legacy of empowerment and authenticity that resonates far beyond her own story.